I think we can all agree that school killed something in us. There was just so much that we couldn't do because of it. So much time did we spend cramming for another test just to forget everything a day later. So much joy did we miss out on because we were stressed with some teacher putting pressure on us for whatever reason. So much creativity did we not nurture because there was simply no time. But there's one thing that school steals from so many that I don't think is talked about enough. The passion for learning. Let me ask you a question. How many of the compulsory reading books did you actually read during your education? A few? None? I'm not surprised. In fact, I totally understand and relate to that. I don't know about other countries, but in Poland, a lot of these books are just simply boring and difficult to comprehend. And what does that teach us? That all books are the same. I believed that for so long. I hated, and I mean hated, reading. I could not understand how someone could do it for pleasure. In fact, I almost feel like I've made fun of people who did. To me, it was just always kind of like an obligation, a chore that I didn't want to comply with. And for a long time, I didn't. This only changed recently when I discovered how amazing books can be. For years I participated in an English competition for which we had to read a few classics, and for a long time I didn't. But something just struck me one day. Something told me to read them. So I picked up Catcher in the Rye just because it was the only one of these books that I had at home in English at the time, and I am just so grateful for that. So grateful for that. That book was the first piece of the domino race, and combined with my interest in self-development, it started a snowball effect. I now read books before bed instead of scrolling through my phone, which immensely improved the quality of my sleep. I take breaks during the day to read books, which helps me regenerate way better than if I had watched YouTube videos or scrolled through social media during that time. I even got a Kindle ebook reader, and boy, do I love it. I legit think this is the best piece of tech that I own, and every teenager should get one. It makes reading so much more seamless, so much more accessible, and trust me, everything is on the internet, so you could pretty much read any book ever written. Alright, but just my saying that reading is awesome won't help you read more books. Here are a few steps that I recommend you take if reading never was on your most exciting things to do list. Start small. If you didn't run for the past few months, I don't think getting out there and running a marathon is a particularly good idea. And the same thing applies to books. Don't pick up the thickest, most complex book you can find. In fact, look specifically for something simple and preferably short. It's quite easy to finish a 100-page book, and doing that will establish a subconscious notion in your mind that reading is not that hard at all. Read what you like. If you're worried that if someone finds out that you're reading Twilight, your masculine image will be cancelled, you're right. Do it in secret. Jokes aside though, we are so often influenced by others, so much so that sometimes the choices we make are unintentionally driven by our desire to impress. When choosing your first book, the only one you need to impress is yourself, and that is crucial. If you force yourself to read something you don't like, you won't ever fall in love with reading. Stop reading. Just don't bother. If a book is not for you, dump it.
Hey, so I need to tell you something. This I don't think it's working. No, but it's not you. It's me. This isn't working anymore for me. Sorry.
It makes no sense to stay in a toxic relationship just to not be single, and equally so, it makes no sense to keep reading a book that you don't like just to be reading something. There are millions of other books waiting for your love and affection. Get a Kindle. This is not a joke. If I were to give out a single piece of advice to people my age, it would be get a bloody Kindle. Or if you're an anti-Jeff Bezosnist, any other ebook reader. But Bartek, what if I love the smell and feel of a traditional book? Well, get the hell out. Just kidding, you know I always talk about adjusting the things that I say to what works for you. But honestly, to me, Traditional books are kind of impractical. They take up a shit ton of space, they're heavy and bulky, you sometimes need to pry them open with a crowbar because they keep closing on you need to remember where you finished. But if that works for you, be my guest. Ebook readers, on the other hand, are amazing. You can download pretty much any book you want, you can look up words as you read, you can highlight excerpts you like, not like you can't do that on a traditional book, but hey, you can export these. Damn, you can even write notes and change fonts. But most importantly, I found that getting a Kindle is somewhat of a prompt to start reading. It's just so easy and convenient to read on this tiny device and take it anywhere that you might just as well do it. Okay, you might be thinking, hey Bartek, but you told us that school kills the passion for learning, not for reading. Yeah, but guess what? Reading is one of the best ways of gaining knowledge. I don't know how I can prove this to you, it's just true. I mean, all of the world's lessons are available to download on a Kindle, or one-day delivery in hardback. I'm just asking you, give reading a chance. You don't stop watching movies whatsoever just because you've watched a few bad ones. So just pick a book that you think you'll like and read it. Seriously, read it. Your life will never be the same.